The United States of America and their corporations have always been about cheap labor since its inception. They have always wanted to make people work tirelessly, hours if they could. I mean, it was time when they had children working in coal mines, and you had the women's suffrage movement and the Children's Working Act. I think that was of 1916. You had they didn't care. They would just make you work tirelessly, to the point where people started to form unions to protect workers. They formed unions to make sure that you got paid a proper wage or a proper compensation for the hours and the work that you put in. And America has always tried to fight against that. Like, even in the South, they don't deal with unions. They had a right to work state. And they still don't pay you the way that they should pay you. These corporations are getting over like a fat rat. And they always open their borders to let immigrants come in from foreign nations, where you have U.S. policy down there on those countries to keep them destabilized. So everybody's running across the border to get to America to get a good job. So now you have families that's been working decades at certain corporations and companies and fighting with their unions to get better wages, to make sure they get raises and make more money. Because the money that they really pay you, as opposed to the money the corporations is making, is nothing. Most Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, just barely getting by. You know, and that's the way the system is set up, to always keep you in debt, where you're always dependent upon the government. They had this set up from its inception, from the door. So now you have migrants running over, and what you used to work for $15, but now you may make $30 an hour, because all the years of fighting, with your unions, these immigrants are coming from these poor, dilapidated countries, and they'll work for $10 an hour. And this is why you have this influx of immigrations coming in, because American corporations are saying they want the immigrants to do the work that the American people don't want to do. Check this out. This is what the news is saying.
And Tyson laying off 1,200 workers after closing its pork factory in Perry, Iowa, only later to announce 52,000 jobs for migrants.
The company's excuse: migrants are getting the jobs that Americans don't want. A human resources executive for the company telling Bloomberg the migrants have been, quote, very loyal. They've been uprooted, and what they want is stability. What they want is a sense of belonging.
Let's bring in Fox and Friends Weekend co-host Pete Hegseth. Pete, good to see you.
Yes.
But again, lower wages, taking American jobs. This was the reason why Democrats were opposed to illegal immigration 10, 15, 25 years ago. But here it plays out. This costs Americans a livelihood.
That's true. It was also the reason why the Chamber of Commerce crowd of the Republican Party was so resistant to Donald Trump back in 2015, 2016, dependent on importing cheap labor. He said, we're going to build that wall. We're going to stop this. I'm going to put Americans first. Wages will rise as a result. And now you've got an inversion of that with the Democrat Party saying, come on in. And then we've heard glimpses of it, right, when Nancy Pelosi said, who else is going to pick our crops, right? I mean, that's their mindset. And the businesses are happy to do it when there's no e-verifier, there's no consequences. And so cheaper labor for this business to produce a product. And it's not an easy job. You know, people that do those jobs, they're dirty, they're tough, but Americans should have the first shot, and they should have a good shot at a good wage.
And it's so dismissive. The language that they use, that Americans don't want these jobs. Really?
Americans had these jobs,
right,
and they lost them.
Correct.
Exactly.
And if you thought about paying, if Americans are doing the jobs, they're going to raise the wages for the jobs too. That's all good for everybody.
So now we see that Tyson laid off over 1,100 of their American employees, and they're rehiring, and now they're hiring over 52,000 immigrants. And I you know, some of this stuff just don't seem kind of far-fetched or crazy to me. But this is what's going on in the tabloids, and this is what they're saying. But when you understand U.S. policy in South America, Central America, through the Caribbean, you know, you get a chance to see how these countries are destabilized and dilapidated, and their resources are being extracted. So they can't find gainful employment in their countries. You know, a lot of these countries' economy is in disarray or shambles. You see what's going on in Venezuela and Salvador, and all these different countries, right? And then you have countries coming in from these Asian countries. And a lot of these countries is controlled by America or the British Isles and these places like that. And these countries are broken. And a lot of them, through U.S. policy, they're flooding and running into America because they feel like they can get a chance in America than what they was getting back home in their own countries. And what happens is it disrupts all the progress that Black Americans have been fighting for against the corporations here, because we've been fighting against the corporations with unions trying to get the best ways that we can get. So the immigrants are coming now and they'll work for a quarter of what you are making. So now you have, so if it's Tyson today, what is it tomorrow? So now you have this Filipino, he breaks this down about the immigrant influx and why they come into America. Check this out.
Absolutely, I want to do it, quote unquote, the right way, right? Like, I mean, I find it really interesting that, do people think we want to come here so we can get exploited and be called criminals? I actually think what gets lost in this entire conversation about immigration is, why do people move, right? By the way, like, part of our job at Define American is really unpacking some of these myths, right? So when we say that unless you're a Native American, you're an immigrant to this country, we have actually left out Black people in that equation. That's forced migration.
Yes.
They were imported, right? I mean, and we have to be honest about the fact that this country is addicted to cheap labor, right? I mean, come on. You put a sign out at the US-Mexico border that says, keep out, 10 yards in, what do you say? Help wanted, right? We can't all babysit your kids and mow your lawns and serve your drinks. Or is that what you want us to do, right? The fact of the matter is, you need the labor, right? About 25% of farmers in this country are undocumented. So when people say, oh, what does immigration have to do with me? I'm sorry, when was the last time you had a burger and a salad?
No.
Right? And to me, as somebody who's Filipino, I was in North Carolina a few months ago, and I did this event. Actually, it was a conservative event. And the man afterwards, because I said that there are about 4 million Filipinos in the United States. 4 million, right? We're the third largest immigrant group.
Wow.
Yeah, it's Mexicans, Chinese, and Filipinos. And this man said, well, why are there so many of you here? And he didn't say that the nice way. And all I could say to him was, you know, sir, we are here because you were there.
Yes.
That's why we're here. Remember the Spanish-American War? Like, what gets so lost in the conversation is, what does U.S. foreign policy and U.S. trade agreements have to do with migration pattern?
So again, these people come here and consume resources, and they work at a very low wage and begin to build themselves up within the American economy. And on the world stage, it makes America seem like they're helping humanity. They're not indulging in inhumane practices that they've been known for against Black Americans and Native Americans. So now their foreign policy is, hey, we have an open door policy. You can come here and you can make a wage and you can live the American dream in this melting pot. This is the crap that they sell. So these people, these kids, these generations come, and after 1 or 2 generations, their children is competing with your children. They're no longer washing cars or standing outside waiting to find a job. They're now in the American economy system, and their children are competing against yours. If you are a Black American, you deserve a great wage based off of what we've been through here as a people. Native Americans, you deserve a good wage, medical insurance, a 401k, an annuity fund, all those different things you deserve, because it was us that built this economy. We are the descendants of the people that built it. We've been here. We are the foundation of America. But they're pushing you in the forehead and bypassing you and bringing in people and putting them right over you, because these people are work for cheaper labor. And if you don't believe me, check out what Mayor Eric Adams had to say in the beginning of this migrant crisis. Look at what he was saying about the migrants.
You spoke earlier about the idea of having these migrants work in New York and giving them an opportunity to work. Have you ever thought of just doing it on your own at this point?
We would love to. Trust me, I've turned over every legal stone to see how we could go about doing it. But if we do it, we could expose ourselves to violating federal laws, as well as the city being sanctioned. And would you believe I cannot even allow migrants to volunteer and give them a stipend? If I wanted them just to clean up in the areas where they are staying, That's not allowed to do. When you think about this, this strikes at the heart of who we are as a country. All of our immigrants that have come to this city, all of us in this country, we had the authorization to work and earn our rights to be here. And that's all the migrants and asylum seekers are asking for.
And see, you guys got to listen to what he was saying. So he wished that he can get these illegal immigrants or migrants that's coming here illegally to work. But they're going to work where and for who? See, this is where you have unions that's there to protect the American people and their jobs, because you're not supposed to be giving jobs to people that doesn't have a union card, that's not in the union. So now he said that he wants them to come and clean up that area that they're in. They can't come and clean up the area because that cleanup belongs to New York city workers. That area belongs to contract workers or union workers. That's their job. So now you bringing these people in to come clean that up. No, Mayor Adams, and you know this. But it's the unions that vote for you to put you in office. The unions. The city workers. So, but you want to bring them in and they're going to come in and do the labor work. So whose jobs are they taking, Mayor Adams? Like, let's stop acting like we're ignorant. We don't understand what's going on. So this is why you have laws on the books in different states and municipalities to protect the workers. You have union reps that go around to different job sites to make sure and check your books, to make sure that the people that's working there have the proper representation to be working on those sites. You're just going to bring in all these people from Guatemala and Salvador and Belize and all these different people and just put them to work because now in the unions we might be making $42 an hour and they'll work for 10. That's what they're doing, man. And they're doing it right in front of your face. But I'm going to cut this video short here. Leave your comments in the comment section. Hit that like button. It don't cost you nothing, man. Subscribe to Street Media TV and help me get this message out to a broader audience, man. Remember, I love y'all. Till the next time. Peace.